Hey guys, Dennis from DC SuperShine here. We are doing the Battle of the Bars today. So I mentioned in a different video in my, when I was explaining some compound bars, that I would choose some bars from different companies and sort of kind of go head to head against each other and see how they perform. So today I chose 3 bars. So they're, the bars that I chose are brown TRIPOLI. So the first bar is TR-2 TRIPOLI polishing compound primary cut for aluminum from Zephyr. So that's the first bar. The second bar is another TRIPOLI. It's from Keystone polishing, and it says brown primary cutting as well. It's hard to find some information on this bar, so I'm anxious to try it. And then also the D32 from JACKSONLEA, also primary cut TRIPOLI brown bar as well. So I sanded my tank 400, 600, and 800. I divided the center section into 3, and I'm gonna do all 3 sections, 1 section at a time with each bar. I'm gonna change pads, so I'm gonna basically use a new pad for each bar just so none of the compounds mix. A lot of guys out there think that that makes a big difference. Personally, I don't think it does. And then we'll see how they perform, and then whenever I'm done on doing all that, I'll come back and I'll give you my my opinion and what I think. Okay guys, so a small thing that I forgot to mention is most companies out there will give a rating to their bar. They give it like a cut and color on a scale from 1 to 10. So I actually called Zephyr today because I couldn't find any information on it, and they're saying that this bar here is a 7 cut, so I'm assuming it's a 3 color. And the JACKSONLEA is a 6-4, so 6 cut, so on a scale from 1 to 10 it rates a 6. And then color is a 4. Like I mentioned, the Keystone bar, I couldn't find any information. I tried to call United Pacific because this is a bar that's made by United Pacific, and I was on wait for too long. I just didn't bother waiting. So we'll try it and we'll see how it performs. When you're up against the wall and you cannot fall, so go. I'll be honest, it impressed me. It did better than I thought. So I'm gonna go over five categories basically of how I'm breaking down these bars, and then we'll give it an overall rating at the end, and then a winner. I'll talk about the winner, at the end of the video. So this bar is a 6-4, so a 6-4, so a 6 cut and a 4 color. In my opinion, they call it their primary cut, but I would use that more as a medium cut. Usually primary cuts are like 7, 8, or 9. So for cutting speed, it cut really quick. For a 6 cut, it actually cut through those 800 sander marks fairly quick, and worked very, very well. There's no sander marks to see. So I was impressed with that. Now color and clarity. So basically the color and clarity is the clarity that the bar leaves after you've polished it. So normally a primary cut doesn't leave a lot of color, and so that's why I'm sort of kind of considering this more of a medium cut over a heavy cut. Because the clarity was very, very, very good. So that makes your finishing process a little bit easier once you after you've done your cut. Third is price, and I forgot to look up the price on this one, but I'll put it on the video for you guys. Availability. I guess that Osborne makes these bars now. They bought JACKSONLEA out a few years back. so the bars are fairly easy to find. And then number 5 is durability. So how much compound do I actually have to put on the pad for it to work, and how long is the bar going to last? Am I going to be able to do, you know, 1 truck with 1 bar or 3 trucks with 1 bar, for example? So this durability, I rate it on a scale from 1 to 5. I'd put it a 4 on 5. I didn't need too much product. It was very, very similar to a lot of the bars that I've been using before. It's a semi-greasy, so it was holding on to the pad fairly well. So the second bar we worked with, we tested today is the bar from Zephyr. It was a TR-2. And it's considered a 7-3, so a 7 cut and a 3 color. And it definitely cuts very well. Right? You know, I went through 800 center marks very quickly. I'd say it was just as quick as the JACKSONLEA bar. You know, cutting speed worked very, very well, 8 on 10 for that. Color and clarity, it has a little less clarity than the JACKSONLEA, and that's normal because it has more cut. You know, the JACKSONLEA is a 6.4, this one here is a 7.3. Now price-wise, it's priced right. You know, depending on where you buy it, you can buy it anywhere from $8 to $12 per bar. I think on the Zephyr site they're a little bit more expensive, but so price is very good, and there's a reason for that. The bar is a little bit smaller, so it's normal bars are anywhere from 2.5 to 3 pounds. I think this one is closer to 2 pounds. So it's just a little bit smaller than some of the other ones, so they might not last as long. Availability, you know, I've always been able to get Zephyr bars. Their availability is always very, very good. Customer service is very, very good as well. So for number 5 durability, I rate it a 3. I give it a 3 on 5 for 2 reasons. First of all, I had to use a little bit more than the JACKSONLEA bar, and the bar is a little bit smaller, so it's not going to last you as long. Another thing about the Zephyr bar too, I found that at the end when I did my finishing pass, it left a little bit more brown, so there's a little bit more residue on that bar than the JACKSONLEA bar as well. we just tested the third bar. This bar was a TRIPOLI from Keystone. I couldn't find too much information on this one. It felt like a 6 or 7 cut-wise. It was very, very similar to the Zephyr one. So Zephyr was 7. So I'm going to assume that this one's probably a 7 cut as well. I didn't like this bar as much. I mean, cutting speed was fine. I'd give it an 8 on 10 as well. You know, it's up to par, comparable to the other two in cutting speed when you're cutting the sander marks. But it left a lot of residue, and I wasn't putting a lot of product on my pad, and it was just still leaving a lot of residue. And even when I did my cleanup after, I found it left even more black. So I definitely did not like that. And often what happens whenever you leave compound behind like that, when there's a lot of compound left behind and you're trying to do your finishing, I'm a guy that doesn't clean in between my stages. So this is a bar that you would have to clean, you know, with an acid or a metal polish or something like that before you do your finishing to remove all of that residue. You know, I prefer bars that sort of kind of clean themselves as you go, and then you just have to do your finishing. There's no cleaning step in between. So color clarity, very, very similar again to the Zephyr one. So that's why I'm assuming it's probably a 7.3 bar, just like that one. Price, the only price that I could find was on Highway Shine, and it was around 10 bucks. So it's very, very comparable to the Zephyr bar. Availability, same thing. I don't buy these bars, so I'm not 100% sure about availability for that one. It was hard to find online. I know that Highway Shine handy at Highway Shine carries them, so you can definitely buy them through him. Durability, again, it's probably very similar to the Zephyr one. You know, I was applying product probably every second or third pass, and it was much drier than the other two bars though. So I'm going to assume it's a you know, a high dry or medium dry. Okay, so if I was to choose one of the three, I would probably go with JACKSONLEA. And the main reason I would choose JACKSONLEA over the two is just because it cleaned up a lot easier than the other two. No brown residue, pretty much whatsoever. You know, cutting speed and the clarity and all that, you know, the other bars performed just fine. You know, I was actually a little bit surprised on the Keystone bar, how quickly it cut. And I didn't leave any sander marks behind, you know, at all. But if I was to choose a bar to use for my polishing, you know, business, or, you know, use a day-to-day cutter, I would definitely use the JACKSONLEA. Now, thanks guys for watching. I really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and hit that little notification bell. There is still a lot of you that watch my videos that are not subscribed. It's not hard to click subscribe. And anyways, follow me on Facebook and on Instagram, and we'll see you in the next one.